Hello and welcome to this week's episode of The Familiars. Hi everybody, thank you so much for joining us. We are The Familiars, minus one, who we miss very much, but Annalise will be back next week. So this week we thought we'd do something special. We are going to be doing a one-shot that is going to look at the past life of one Chester Hamon, played by TV's very own Brett Dalton. We'd like to welcome everyone to another episode of The Familiars. We are a group of overachieving, underemployed actors who all came together to tell a story using the rules of Dungeons and Dragons. My name is Joby Earl, and I am your DM for this evening. I will be leading the group through Wizards of the Coast's adventure, Storm King's Thunder. But before we get started, we want to make sure to let you know that we have a Patreon. So head on over to patreon.com/thefamiliars and become a patron. And I'll tell you what, the first three folks to do that will get to ask TV's Brett Dalton one question during the intermission. All right? Becoming a patron will also unlock a special part of our website where you'll be able to get exclusive content, downloads, first access to merch, and a lot of other cool things we are thinking of. So if you know of things that you want, just reach out, hit us up on chat, hit us up on social, and we will think about doing that for you, our patrons. Is there any other announcements that I have forgotten before we get started on our adventure? Anybody? Okay. So, without further ado, I would like to welcome us all to this week's episode of The Familiars. Now, we pick up our story 7 months before the start of our initial campaign. It is no longer the beautiful spring time of rejuvenation in and around Nightstone. It is now coming out of winter, and the weather has been cloudy and cold. Brittly so for the last few days, and it has just given way to a cold hard rain. And Lady Nandar has hired a party from the local drinking establishment, the Nightstone Inn, to investigate a murder. But instead of paying for the censure and punishment of the murderer, she is paying for protection of the accused. A group of priests has recently arrived to warn her that something called a Revenant is tracking someone in Nightstone. And these priests had ridden through the night, but they believed themselves to only be a few hours ahead of it. She has enlisted one of the closest allies in the town, the owner and operator of the general store, one Chester Hamon, to perform the delicate interrogation of certain members of Nightstone to try to get to at least the bottom of this. The Awakened, as the priests call themselves, they know that the Revenant, this beast, this undead being, originated from the city of Baldur's Gate. And there was a killing there. It was the killing of High Priest Dawnbringer Sprain. It was the High Priest of the Church of Lathander there, and it was almost a year ago when this murder took place. Lady Nandar believes in the folk that have come to live with her within her newly built walls, and she believes in second chances. And she has summoned Chester Hamon to see if he can talk to the 2 members of Nightstone who have made it to this settlement from Baldur's Gate within the last year. One, Destiny Aganar, and one, Hyrule Mistrum. Now, Lady Nandar has promised clemency for the crime. She simply wants her residents safe, but both residents are still denying their guilt. Now, the priests have warned that there is little time to dally. Lady Nandar's husband has taken most of the guard off to deal with the elven aggressors in the Ardeep forest, and she sent word to the inn to see if any mercenaries were looking for coin, and she would pay handsomely for the protection of the accused. So, our group is approaching this large, imposing stone structure as they walk across the long bridge leading up to the person-made hill that sits below this keep. The rain comes down, it's pelting, it's cold, it's getting into your clothes. But the guard who's leading you is moving at a clip. And the guard presses open the doors, and you walk inside to this humble but warmly lit room that is the main hall of Nandar Keep. And there is quite the scene before you. You see a long table, and sitting at the head of this table is a gaunt yet strong and sitting with perfect poise, older human woman, gray hair tied back into a tight ponytail that drapes down over a simple yet refined blue velvet dress. She seems to be holding court before 2 incredibly upset folk. One is a human male, looks to be in his 40s, and he has long, stringy hair and the vestments of a priest. You walk in, and this man is in the midst of what looks to be a high-pitched defense of himself. His voice is ragged, desperate, and he is pointing aggressively towards the other figure who stands on the other end of the table. And you see a tiefling woman, dark red skin with black, thick horns that come out of her forehead and curl back. She has sable hair that comes up over the horns and then are tied into 2 buns underneath where the horns curve around. She seems to have the posture of someone tired but unbroken, and is at the moment on the receiving end of this beratement from the human. You look to the older woman sitting at the head of the table. Her head rests against her hand in a look of exhaustion and determination. And there's one more figure behind the woman who you notice last. An older human male with tightly cropped hair on the sides, gray, wrinkles over a leathered skin, stands stoic and strong behind the older woman at the head of the table, with their hands clasped in front of their priestly vestments. You notice that the vestments look similar to the man who is in the midst of this monologue, but cleaner. And there is gold leaf along the older gentleman's. It looks to be from a less threadbare church. And finally, you see Chester. And Chester, how would you describe yourself here? You've come from the general store. You've been asked late at night, and you've been told that you're needed immediately, but also to grab your weapons. So you are wearing whatever weaponry you brought with you, but as you are watching this argument take place, what is it that the group sees?
Well, it's this conversation that has escalated. I've walked in, of course, being eternally indebted to Lady Nandar. Having been told to prepare myself, come armed, and also to bring my charm. I'm ready for anything.
And are you wearing your day clothes, your night clothes? Are you wearing your general store getup? What is it that they find you dressed in at the moment?
I've come ready for anything. So I am dressed to do some possible espionage.
Great.
I am armed from top to bottom.
Maybe
I walk in.
a tactical vest situation.
Tactical
what's on
vest.
top?
Absolutely. Might I have some raccoon paint upon my face? It's possible.
We don't
I
know.
am ready for anything.
We don't
Ready
know. No
for
one
anything.
knows.
Excellent. So
Immediately upon seeing the man of the cloth, I'm assuming that I don't need my weapons, but I don't know that yet.
Right. So as the party walks in, the argument has reached a peak. And you hear the human say, "I would have never done this. How could you have thought that me, a priest, would ever have done anything so low as to kill someone? And now I'm being told that I'm being hunted by what is this? I have no idea why I would be called." And the woman at this stands and says, Hyrule, please, we know that there would be no reason for you to do anything against your better nature. I'm sure this is some kind of mistake. We are just trying to get some kind of information. And she turns to the tiefling and says, Destiny, if you will please give us something. And Destiny says, I don't know why I keep being called in here after I have done nothing in this town but give and trust. I thought that Nightstone was different. I thought the people of Nightstone were better than to make assumptions. But I guess I'm learning that that's not the case. And the woman says, Destiny, no, please. You know that I have given you nothing but the benefit of the doubt. Benefit of the doubt! After I've taken care of... I mean, it's just going back and forth. All left, right. There doesn't seem to be any kind of peace. And
yeah, so hold on. So Gorvald, who's a 7'5" Goliath barbarian, takes his 6-foot great axe, and he sort of, bangs it on the stone floor of the keep and says, "Oi! Oi, stop your arguing. You want Gorvald for a job? Tell Gorvald who to kill."
Oh,
Enough's enough.
the woman in the blue dress turns Gorvold, and all of you can see that she is a bit startled, but immediately regains control. Ah, have you all come to help with our situation?
Yeah. I told Govold at the inn that you need Govold to kill someone, so that's what Govold has come to do. Don't tell me who to kill.
Kai, calm down.
Yeah.
Tell me who to
Yes.
kill.
And then Friedrich does a minor illusion and makes a very small blue kitten in Friedrich's hands and says, Govard, yeah, okay, Govard. You're at an 11. We need you to be at a 2. Look at the kitty. Look at the
Govold
kitty.
sort of catches sight of the kitty and just sort of softens and quiets. Oh, it's a nice kitty.
It's a nice kitty.
It's very nice. Yeah, it's a nice
Yes.
kitty.
Yeah, okay. As we were saying, Roland, do you want to take this? Yeah?
Heil, Lady Nandar. Gorvold here is working on his patience, so it may be in your best interest to get to the point.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for coming. We are in desperate need as our current level of protection is slight. My husband has had to deal with aggressors in the woods, and there is no rest for the weary, as it were. Here, please, sit. And she points to chairs that are lining the side of the wall away from the table. She says, I will give you details soon, as will my fellow. And she looks back to the priest behind her, who gently nods, eyeing all of you, and says, we're hoping that we won't need any extra muscle here tonight, but we don't yet know. And she turns to you, Chester, and says, Chester, you are a trusted member of this town, and I have not yet spoken with anyone who would think otherwise. Do you think you might be able to talk to Hyrule or Destiny? Tell them, please, again, that whatever they've done, Nightstone is a place of new beginnings. Your past is wiped clean. And she looks to Hyrule and she says, Hyrule, I know you to be a good man. And she looks to Destiny and she says, Destiny, I know you to be a fine woman and a strong mother. Please, both of you, I know that because of my station you may not, or I may not, have earned your trust. But please, listen to Chester. And she looks to you, Chester, and says, go ahead. And she looks to the group and says, please, just be patient. We will need your help soon. Chester?
Hard jobs always land on my shoulders. A Destiny, Hyrule. Nightstone is not a place where we point fingers. Nightstone is a place where we extend our hands in assistance of our fellow men and our fellow women. This is not about what you've done. This is about survival. This is about getting in front of the Revenant, which has his sights set squarely on Nightstone. Someone in these halls is the target of the revengeful quest. And we only have a number of hours to figure it out. So we won't be leaving here until we do. And should we need Roland and Gorvald and Friedrich, they're here to assist us.
Hey, don't forget the fella over here.
Everyone looks to where Roland is pointing.
Manus, why don't you say hello?
Magnus is here to help in whatever way he can. What do we know about this, how you say, Revenant?
At this moment, the priest steps forward and says, yes. A revenant is a soul in search of a body. In Baldur's Gate, the high priest of the Church of Lathander was murdered in his private chambers. The assailant has never been found.
Murdered? How?
He was found amidst his books, stabbed, the dagger, sword, so we believe. And there had been incidents in Baldur's Gate with other churches, but not with the Church of Lathander. Anyway, he was a respected member of the community, and he was stabbed in his private chambers. What added insult to injury was that we found writing, scratched, written, dabbed all over the walls in the accursed language of the devils, the infernal. Now, we don't mean to point fingers, but we haven't had much luck in Baldur's Gate with devil folk. And he looks to the tiefling without any compunction. But that doesn't mean that I haven't met a few in my day who have let go of their evil ways. And Lathander is one who believes in justice. Now, the body of the priest has disappeared. We have unfortunately had sightings of him walking, running, outside of the city, on horseback. This was very concerning. We followed him and found that he had amassed a following of broken individuals. We could only make the assumption that he has become a revenant.
Father, what sort of scripture is he preaching to the people?
Well, when he was living, it was that of Lathander, god of the dawn, the sun, hope, light, clear thinking. Now, we can only imagine. A revenant, I don't know if any of you have faced one, is nothing to take lightly. Maybe some of you have faced undead, zombies, ghasts, ghouls. This is something different. Those beings have no intelligence, no wisdom. A revenant retains the memories and the knowledge of the soul that lived. And if you can take care of its body, it will find another. That is why I am here. Once we ascertain which one of these folk is the assailant. Although Lady Villarosa has promised clemency, all we ask is that you protect them. It is coming. Tonight. Are you up to the challenge?
How much coin is in it for us?
I don't deal with the money. And he turns to Lady Villarosa and she says, "Oh, yes. Well, how do you say it's a seller's market? How much would you charge?"
500 gold.
All right.
Each.
Gorval drops his axe.
Roland, make a persuasion check with advantage.
Ooh, yeah. 21.
Did it not come through? Did it come through on the... Hold, please. Oh, no. Just going to do a little bit of a refresh. Oh, because I'm in the wrong one. Apologies. $21.
I just start to just very gently like rub one of the ironwood pistols in my holster.
We don't have 2,000 gold within the keep, but I believe that we could offer you at least...
Jester interrupts. This isn't about money. You don't need to have that in the first place. As I said when you gentlemen entered. Nightstone is not about a place of pointing our fingers, nor is it a place where we extend our hands and expect money in return. Our hands are here to lift each other up, and thus your employ.
Thank you, Chester. Thank you for sharing your contribution. I look back over at Lady Nandar.
Thank you, Chester. But desperate times call for desperate measures. She reaches for a glass of water. Her hand is shaking.
Do we have a deal?
Yes, either in coin or in stone or in something. Yes, you do.
Say thank you. All right, team. Let's set up.
Where do we wait for this Revenant?
Well, if you could just stay here and maybe a few stay on the front door and just keep an eye, that would, I think, be most prudent. And you look around.
Gorval just says, Gorval, take the front door. And he goes with his axe, picks up his axe, and goes towards the front door, and he stands guard.
Great.
There's still... How many priests are here in this room right now?
Only one.
Only one.
And I'm sorry,
Wait,
there's
Destiny and
Hyrule.
Is there any chance that any of them could bless our weapons? Because I have a feeling that this Revenant is not going to respond as we expect it to.
What do you say, preach?
Magical weapons.
Who are you looking at?
The priest. What's the priest's name again?
I haven't given you my name.
Good.
Well, why don't you share it now?
Scrolling down.
Scrolling down.
Priest scrolling down. It's an honor.
My name is Creel of the Awakened.
I've heard of you guys.
What can you do to help us?
And he looks down. I never had a knack for the weave, and unfortunately cannot offer any magical means of assisting you. But
Do you have a god or not?
I do.
Then bless the weapons.
He puts his head down and begins to mutter. Lathander, God of light, God of the sun, God of rebirth, come to us now in our time of aid. Bless these warriors. Help them protect the accused and bring them a form of justice, even though your justice will never reach them. Praise be. Looks up. Will that do?
We shall see.
It's on you now, Breach.
The preacher looks to Chester and says, "We have yet to figure out which one of these folk need protection to begin with. Lady Nandar says that you might be our last hope. I suggest that you begin with whatever talents you have." And Chester, you look now to Destiny and Hyrule. Hyrule is... He may have soiled his loins. He is terrified and sweating and looks very guilty beyond against his better judgment, and seems to also be aware of it. It's a terrible cycle. And Destiny looks strong, but tired.
Well, priest. Imagine truth might be more directly hit upon with these two assailants separately rather than together.
If you think so.
How about we keep Destiny and question her in order to secure our own?
It sounds fine to me. And Lady Velosa says, "And that sounds fine to me. Hyrule, will you please take a moment in my study?" Gesturing to a door beside her. He says, "Yes, fine, but please, let's just get this over with." And he walks around and says, I can't believe it. After everything I've done. And just goes into the door, opens it, closes it. You're alone. Destiny looks at you.
And I come up behind Chester as Friedrich, and I say, Herr Chester, number one, my name is Friedrich. Yes, not Frederick. And second, it's a minor point, but I'm very well known, so it's a bit insulting, but that's okay. But second, I am very charming. And this group, if you can't tell, is a lot of hit and ask questions later. So if you need help with some charm, I am your magician. Bard. I am your bard. Okay?
I'll keep that in mind.
I also do lots of tricks with animals. Maybe you've seen me. You haven't seen me before? Are you sure? Look at my face.
Chester, make
I'll
a
keep that in mind.
and Chester, make a history check.
I'm pretty. Most people know me.
And your
I'm not
skills.
saying I'm A-list.
He's really very talented.
It's quite amazing what I can do. I'm
You
fairly
have
humbled.
never, ever, ever heard of Friedrich.
That's closer. I like that. They call me Friedrich sometimes in southern areas. Yeah. Yes. Also, Freddy. Yes, in across the ocean. They do it there. So I'm very well known all over. I'm sorry for you that you haven't seen me before, but if you want, I make you kitten.
Meow.
Okay, here we go. This one's what color do you want?
Friedrich.
Okay, here it is. A Friedrich kitten. It says meow.
Meow, meow,
That's right, for you. There you go.
meow.
Okay, I'll just be over here.
meow,
Govald,
meow.
I stand next to you.
Take the kitten, Chester.
Chester, of course, takes the kitten.
You're welcome.
Chester, the cat comes up and is sort of just scampers up onto your shoulder, and it's weird. You were worried that the claws were going to hurt, and you sort of recoil back, but it actually just feels like magic. And there's a little cat just meow up on your shoulder. You look to
I
Destiny.
saw your smile. Ha ha ha.
Feeling a bit frisky.
I
Should
take a
have kept
look.
that to myself.
Take a look around the room. Is there only one way into this room?
You see a large door that you came through to the front, and then you see that there is a door right as you walk in that seems to lead to some sort of stairwell. It was open and seems to go upstairs. And you see the door that Hyrule walked through that was to just an enclosed room. You don't know if there was a door out from that room, but it looked like some kind of study with windows. And then directly opposite that is doors that lead to what seem to be the parapets on Nandar Keep. And then in the back, on the back wall, there is one door that's closed that you don't know where it goes. Possibly out.
Okay. And is there any way to barricade any of the main entrance?
There is a lot of furniture. There is the large table. And one thing you notice is that there are a ton of these animal heads. It's the first time you've noticed it, but there are various, a lot of deer, a lot of elk, and one huge bear that is directly across from the table. All heads, taxidermied, hanging on the walls. There's the table, there are the chairs around the table, and you don't know what furniture might be in the other rooms.
I mean, can I sort of briefly scour the room for any kind of like hidden entranceway or secret door or anything like that?
How
Like a panic room?
how obvious do you want to be doing this? Do you want to do this with your eyes, or are you looking around the room pulling on things?
I'm just gonna do it once over with my peepers.
Make a
I'm gonna do it with my eyes.
perception check.
Oh, good.
there are a lot of possibilities. You see,
Maybe a little overwhelming.
well, you know, the first thing you start to notice is that there are torches in sconces on the walls, and there are a lot of them. And you notice that there are more as you keep looking, and each one could be a lever, but you don't want to attract any attention, so you just start counting them.
1, 2, 3.
I'd like to
4.
consult with my patron in like a scan of the space.
And what mechanic would
Like
you
see,
like to do?
like seek his help. Sort of, I guess more like intuitive, or just sort of like a, or rather maybe kind of linking up with like the beam and Ka,
Mm-hmm.
so that it's a more sort of like soft focus, like a zoomed out view, and that can like scan the place. So I guess it's sort of like a magical search. So maybe, well, I'm led or by charisma and wisdom, I guess. So maybe just one of those.
How?
Rolls.
I'll say
Insight, maybe.
I wish there was a spirituality roll. I would say
Religion.
it's not religion because that's more religious knowledge. Just make a straight charisma check.
All right. Oh yeah. You got that?
No, why not? Did it come through for everybody else?
There it is.
Now it did.
21.
Yeah.
Wow.
Really locked in.
I'll say everything goes quiet for you, and you close your eyes and open them, and everybody in the room is gone, and standing before you is a man smiling, dressed all in black, saying, "Hey there, Roland."
Listen, anything we need to be concerned about on the premises?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Really? Why don't you point me in the direction? Say thank you.
Always. Wish I could, Roland, but it doesn't work that way. Know what I mean? I could tell you one thing, though. And he leans in real close and just gets up right next to your ear and says, "I'm pretty sure it's here. In this town. Somewhere." Pulls back, says, "Good luck." And you blink before you know it, and everyone's back.
All right. Gorvald, why don't you pick up some of these tables and china cabinets and toss them against the doors, won't you?
Yeah, so I'm gonna go over and try to do that.
Lady Nandar protests for a moment and then says, "Oh, gosh, yes, just take it.
I go up to Lady Nandar. Lady Nandar. Where do you reckon you ought to be?
In my keep."
Well, all right.
She looks to you, Chester, and says, "Chester, please. We've had destiny wait enough. I've already broken whatever trust I have created. Just please do what you can. We don't have much time."
Chester gives her an assuring nod. The exits have been covered.
Gorvald, you have taken this huge door, and Minus, you saw him, and Friedrich, you start helping getting this very large table up against the door, throw a couple chairs up there.
Joby, do you want me to do any kind of check for that, like a strength or?
You're strong. You lift it up, and it's fairly impressive that you can lift it on your own, but there's no check needed. You shove it up against the door, and it looks like it's going to be much harder to get through that door.
Our weapons have been blessed.
Okay, so let's ask this chick.
That's right.
What's going on?
Yes, I need how you say, cliff notes.
Okay,
Destiny?
Chester, go. Yes, okay.
Destiny. That's your cue. Start talking. You seem to be the opposite of your friend Hyrule. You seem to be quite stoic, as if perhaps you're sitting on some information which should come to light.
I cannot tell you how many times folks have assumed that just because a parent that I had no relationship with happened to be one of these infernal, evil folk, that I am in possession of some kind of horrible treasure or cure of some plague that I probably created.
Probably created.
Destiny, we will take you at your word, but give us the facts, please. What do you know?
A deep sigh leaves Destiny, and she says, I grew up in Baldur's Gate, and I myself was one of these religious folk, but not of the Church of Lathander. I was of the Church of Kelemvor. And she looks to the priest, says, you know that our church had experienced tragedy many times over, in quick succession. And it wasn't until one of yours died that every of his church, the Church of Lathander, the sun ones, the bright ones, the clear-thinking ones, that everyone started pointing fingers, talking about the rot in the Church of Kelemvor in Baldur's Gate. And who was the first ones that they came after? It was us, the tieflings. I thought that my church could protect me. I was wrong. I had a small child, and I made my decision to leave. I thought that it was going to be a good, strong choice to get us safe to a new place for a new beginning. I came here to Nightstone. I was so nervous. She looks at the lady. I was so nervous when I met you for the first time. I had no idea what you were going to ask me, what you were going to ask me to do, where you were going to ask me to live. And you were one of the first humans I'd ever met who treated me like one of their own. I thought that I'd escaped all of the horrors of Baldur's Gate. And now I'm here being accused of a murder I did not commit.
You say you are from the Church of Kelemvor, yes?
Aye.
And you have a rather particular relationship to the undead, yes?
I would say not to the undead, but to the dead.
But you have a point of view on the undead. A sort of sworn pact against them.
She looks down. They're lost. Stuck. Paused. They need our help. I did not care for the high priest of the Church of Lathander. I'll say that to all of you. But we are not the ones who decide who is to die and when. We are doom guides. We are the ones to help everyone to the next plane.
Okay, so why do you think that someone maybe wrote in this speech on the walls? Can you explain this? Because I believe you. I just want the others to believe you too. I mean, you are clearly an innocent woman.
Just because I am a tiefling doesn't mean that I am well versed in the language of devils. Everyone, everywhere I go, thinks that I am somehow able to just contact the folk that live on all the different planes of the nine hells. I am
All
not.
right, okay. Do you speak Infernal or not?
I know a few words here and there.
And what could you make out from the wall?
I did not see the wall. I was never in the church. I was never there.
Anyone able to vouch for that?
No. Chester, please. You, of all people, I thought that you've been so good to my son. He doesn't yet know the world. He doesn't yet know what can happen. Tell these people. Help them. I would never do something like this. I don't need protection.
Is she believable? Is there
Make an insight check, Roland.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm kind of like losing the thread of what's happening.
Feel free. Yes.
I really just need like the cliff notes again of like what happened.
Sure.
Because who's dead?
Yes.
And who were the suspects? And
all you're trying to get to the bottom of is which one of these two people committed murder. You can go the route that you've been going.
It's either Destiny or Hyrule.
Hyrule.
Yes.
Destiny's in the room. Hyrule's in the other room.
And who is Hyrule?
Hyrule is Chester. You would
the
know
priest
this.
that she shit his pants.
Yes. You haven't smelled anything yet, but it's not outside of the realm of possibility. Hyrule seems to be a priest dressed in the same vestments as the priest who's here. So you make the assumption that he is also a priest of the Church of Lathander, but he is a local. He is from Nightstone. Both of these folks.
One priest.
It was a little confusing in my description, but there's the priest who talks like this, and then there's Hyrule who talks like this, who's not in the room right now. All right?
Okay.
The priest of Lathander stands behind the Lady Valarosa and is watching all of the proceedings. Now,
and the murder was
happened a year ago. Yes. So right now the tack seems to be that the group is trying to ascertain what happened in Baldur's Gate. Great. But all you need to do, as the priest describes, sooner rather than later, is find which one of these folk committed the murder so you can protect them.
I think it's the other guy because he shit his pants.
And protect them from...
Says Rooster.
and protect them from...
From this thing called a Revenant. A Revenant is some kind of undead beast that is bent on revenge, seeking out its killer.
Okay. So that dead priest is the Revenant.
Yeah, it possessed like its body.
Okay.
Yes.
And it started like a zombie church.
Like a ghost zombie.
Yeah.
You know.
Minus, do you have any other questions? It's perfectly fine. It's a lot for a one-shot.
That's helpful. There was like 4 priests, and I thought there was one, and I was like, well, who the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Great
Yeah,
question, Manus.
Yeah, wonderful question, Manus. I just wonder if we should, I don't know, vote on this or go talk to the other guy because I think this lady. Okay, so I did this trick once for the queen of Kumbaya. And this is a real person I did once. And I wanted to make it seem like I was in the box when I wasn't in the box. So I left clues so you think I was in the box, like my favorite blanket, my favorite scent, a little bit of whiskey that I really liked. But I was actually doing all those things also somewhere else. So what I am trying to say is after I abracadabra, the thing is about this trick, right? Is you want to make it seem like someone is there. So you drop clues like they are there. And I think that is what happened to this woman. Is it a box trick? Yes, Friedrich, yes, making good points.
Yeah.
She's framed.
Yeah, she was framed. That's how you do most magic is you frame yourself.
We appreciate that, and also what you've said, Destiny. Destiny, before we bring Hyrule out,
Wait, does a 15 do anything for me?
Oh, thank you.
does a what?
Oh, it didn't come through on the log. Sorry, 15.
15 what?
A 15. Roland made an insight check to see if he could tell if Destiny was lying or not. Roland, to the best of your ability, she looks like she's telling the truth about the murder.
And Roland, this might help as well. Destiny, what is Hyrule going to say when she comes in here? You tell me what lies she's going to say,
He,
and we'll match that up against her.
They. It's hard to tell.
they.
Rooster?
Rooster?
Is it the rooster?
What lies they're going to say?
You guys all know the riddle, right?
No.
There's one person in front of a door who always tells a lie. There's another person in front of the other door who always tells the truth. How do you know which one? You ask one of them.
Chester is the killer. He is a liar.
What is the
He's
other
the killer.
person going to say?
Out
It's
of
a
all
solution
the
to the
people
riddle.
that have been welcoming to me here in Nightstone, Hyrule, he's never trusted me. I will never say anything about someone that I don't know, but I will say he's never given me the time of day.
Okay, so we bring in the other guy, maybe, perhaps.
Thank you for that. Can Chester...
Sorry, I am used to
Whisper.
being the center of attention. Go,
No, as you should be.
please.
But Friedrich...
Friedrich.
When Destiny leaves,
Okay.
can we send one of your magic cats in there?
Oh, yeah, they
Or a
can't hear
dog.
any. Oh, sure, but they can't hear anything. But I could go listen at the door. I have very good hearing.
Or perhaps a bird?
Great, it
'Cause
can't
you
hear
should-
anything either.
Nothing's gonna hear anything.
Nothing. There's nothing I can do. They'll hear something. But I could make like a chair smell funny. I could also like put a plant, but like a literal plant somewhere, like a succulent.
I look
not
over
like a
to
plant.
Destiny like, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Send the other one in.
She goes into the other room, closes the door. Out comes Hyrule. Yes?
Let us smell your pants.
What? What? Why do you...
Friedrich.
Okay, sorry. I'll go. I'll take second.
Chester, by the gods. Please, this thing is coming. I just wanna be able to hide. You know me. I'm a coward. He looks to all of you and says, I'm a coward. How could I do this? I lasted 10 minutes in Baldur's Gate. The place is just filled with crime and horrible, horrible things. I had to get out. Please, Chester, please. I can't take much more of this.
Hyrule,
Yeah, no, you go.
what do you have to fear? Are you being hunted or not?
I wasn't until today. I was just minding my own business. I was trying to come in from the rain. I was freezing cold. I was trying to get a fire going. And then before I know it, one of the guards from Lady Nandar's retinue comes in and says, you need to come in here. And I said, well, I don't want to come in here. And they said, you have to come. I said, I'm cold. I just got out of the rain. And then they pull their sword out and I started freaking out. And pointed it at me and said, you have to come now. And I said, okay. And now I'm here. I don't know.
Friedrich would like to cast Charm Person.
Nice.
Can you read the description of that spell?
Yes. You attempt to charm a humanoid you can see within range. It must make a wisdom saving throw and do so with advantage if you or your companions are fighting it. If it fails the saving throw, it is charmed by you until the spell ends or until you or your companions do anything harmful to it. The charmed creature regards you as a friendly acquaintance. When the spell ends, the creature knows it was charmed by you. When you cast this spell using a spell slot of 2nd level or higher, you can target one additional creature, but I just want to do it to him.
And what is your spell save difficulty class? What am I trying to beat here?
13, wisdom 13.
He just fails.
Nice.
Hello, Hyrule.
Hey.
How are you? This is hard, huh?
Yeah. He just starts crying.
Yeah, it's tough stuff, man. You have been so brave. I know, and I'm so sorry to see you so beat up by these gentlemen.
I can't talk to anybody.
I know, you can talk to me about it.
I
If
can
you
always
tell me
talk
what
to
you
you.
did, I know because we are best friends. I will help you. No one will hurt you and you will not get in any trouble. You just tell me what you did.
I was coming into the church.
Yeah?
And I was just there for my things. I had left my bag filled with things.
If you could enunciate better with your crying, it would be so helpful for our
And I
friendship.
just left a bag with my things in it.
Uh-huh, yeah.
And it was dark. It was so dark.
Oh, I hate the dark.
Me too.
Mhm.
Then I heard that there was this talking in the other room.
Okay.
In the high priest's room. And he wasn't supposed to be in there. And I walked over, and as I walked, the door just opened.
Yeah?
Just opened. And I walked in, and the high priest was just muttering to himself, but it was in a voice that wasn't his voice. It was like this deep bass, horrible voice. And
Oh, Hyrule.
I said, excuse me, hi, are you okay? And he turned around immediately, and I saw that his eyes were black, and there was all this writing all over the walls, and I saw that it was written in blood, and he had cut his hand, and he was smearing it all over this book. And he looked at me, and he said, come here. And I couldn't stop. I just kept walking towards him. And he said, come. I'll tell you everything. And as I walked closer towards him, he grabbed my hand, and he pulled it down, and he grabbed the knife in the other hand, and he picked it up, and he cut my hand. And I screamed, and then I thought he was going to kill me. He started talking in a language I didn't understand, and I grabbed the hand with the knife, and it was coming towards me, and I just pushed as hard as I could, and it went just right in.
Ja.
Can I pull
Ja,
it
mein
out?
Liebling. Okay. Ah, Schatzele.
He just crumpled to the ground.
Oh.
And do you know what I did after that?
Was, Schatz?
I grabbed his book.
Okay.
I don't know why. I just grabbed it and I've never told anybody that. I just thought that I could tell you. I don't know why. You're so nice to me. You've always been so nice to me.
That's right. You want a kitten? You did so good.
Yeah. Could I
Here's
have
a kitten.
could I
What
have
kind of kitten, Schatzele?
any kind of I can pick?
Yes, any kind of kitten you want.
A little orange kitty cat with a big fluffy one with a nice white
Yeah.
nose and a fluffy tail.
And before I give you your kitten, you tell me what you did with the book.
Oh, it's in the temple in my room.
Okay, is that very far?
No, it's just by the inn that you were staying in, very close by.
With the Revenant out. Okay, we'll think about this as a group. Here's your kitten. I'm so proud of you.
And this cat appears and just crawls up. How long does Charm Person last?
Forever.
It'll say.
I think it's an hour.
I think it's an hour. Oh,
Yes, that is correct. It 1 action, 1 hour. Yes.
You know, I feel so much better.
Authenticity is important, my tiny friend.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Praise be to Lathander.
absolutely. So, guys, I think you just heard this. What do we do? We know he's coming after him. We know there is a book.
We're going to get that book.
Okay.
Hyrule,
Yes.
maybe you can stay here, barricade yourself in the tower,
Yeah.
and we'll be right back.
Well, I just know that you will protect me. I just know it. I don't know how I know it, but I know it. Especially Friedrich.
That's right.
Yes.
Thank you for getting my name correct.
Always. What are friends
does he-
for?
Does he look like he could hold his own in
No.
in battle?
Absolutely
Do we
not.
take him with us then, guys?
So what?
Do we take him with us?
I can put him on my shoulders, give him a little piggyback ride.
Gorvald. Good job.
I mean, yeah, we should probably keep the prisoner with us,
I think we should all stick
or
together.
lock him in here. You could just tell us where it is. You could just tell us where it is. I don't want to babysit this baby.
Don't worry. Gorvald will babysit this baby.
Yeah, go vote and babysit him. That's right.
Really?
All right.
We tell Destiny that she's off the hook.
She, Lady Nandar stands, looks at all of you, and says, "Thank you. Thank you. I'll go tell Destiny." She goes in. There's a bit of murmured voices. Destiny comes out and says, "Right, now, y'all get what you need then."
I need you to stay with us, please.
Why?
No, we don't need her. It's
A
okay.
cleric of your skill would be useful to us. If there is undead about, it's more likely that you will be able to be in tune with that energy. You'll be able to alert us before something goes amiss.
I was
We have-
merely
we
a...
have a minus, but we need a plus.
Can I just start raging?
Yeah, there we go.
She says, unfortunately, I left the church before my training was complete. I'll be no help to you. Please let me go home to my son. He's worried sick about me.
Does your son want a kitten?
Yes.
Or a doggy.
Dog.
Okay, here's a sparkle one. That is my dog. I'm sorry.
She
Okay.
takes it. Thank you. He'll like this.
Remember, Friedrich Jas, best bard in the world. Okay.
Right. She looks at the door and she says, how the hell am I? Can I, please, can someone move this?
Gorvold.
Yeah. I do it. Torvald's going to do it. Move aside. Move aside. And he takes it off the doorway.
Okay. You pull it off. And Destiny moves to open the door and says, please remember this going forward. There's more to us tieflings than you might assume. And we've gone through more than you think. She looks at the priest and says, good luck with the thunder. When you meet your end, I'll bring you the rest of the way. And the priest says, I think that might be sooner than we both think. Destiny sighs, opens the door, and it's then that you see the figures behind. As the door opens, you can hear the rain much louder now. And Destiny turns and stops. And you see a line of figures all dressed in priestly garb, the same that matches Hyrule's and the head priest. The priest says, we've found you. And the one of the figures steps forward and takes their hood off. And as they take their hood off, all of you see a gray bit of flesh that is pockmarked so horribly that you can see through it at points. And there are these two eyes burning bright orange that pushes Destiny aside violently. She falls down to the ground, comes in and sees Hyrule and says, it's you. And that's where we're going to take a 5-minute break. Whoa! Thank you, everybody. We're going to take a 5-minute break and just get this last little bit ready to rock. We will see all of you very, very soon when we come back and see what happens to our fine compatriots as what looks to be the Revenant just walks in the front door. Thanks, everybody. See you very soon. Intermission is...